river that separates life and death. A giant trap, death awaits. Who can survive this? The bloodiest survival migration on the planet. The red sun rises from the horizon of the Serengeti, painting the African sky a fiery color. The vast grasslands that stretch to the horizon are lit up in a hazy yellow dust. Hot winds carry the scent of dry soil and burnt grass through the old acacia bushes. This is where the most fierce journey of survival begins. The Great Migration. When the rainy season ends, the lake dries up, the soil cracks, the grass turns yellow. Life in the Serengeti enters a challenging moment. There is nothing left to eat, no more water to drink. The primal instincts rise in every creature. The whole land seems to hear an invisible command, to move north, where the Masai Mara is still green. From afar, the ground began to shake. The sound of horses' hooves mixed with the wind, echoing across the savanna. Each dark shadow moved, dense, endless. It was a herd of wildebeest, millions of creatures on the way. They were not as beautiful or majestic as lions. Not as fast as cheetahs. But in this harsh world, wildebeests were the heartbeat of life. Their bodies weighed more than 200 kilograms. Their shoulders were hunched, their necks were thick, their horns curved like sickles. All were created by nature to withstand hunger and predators. Their thick, rough fur helped them withstand the 40-degree heat of the desert. Their eyes were wide open on both sides, allowing them to observe nearly 300 degrees, not missing a single movement in the golden grasslands. There was no leader, no leader. The herd moved as if guided by a common soul. They left in silence, each step harmonizing as one, turning the savanna into a living river. From above, the ground seemed to be flowing. But this journey was not for the faint of heart. From the first day, the cubs had to run for hours if they did not want to be left behind. Each stop could be their last. Behind them, predators were always following, lurking in the red dust. When a cub fell, the hunters were ready to tear them apart. The herd did not stop. In the Serengeti, mercy had no place. The journey continued for weeks. Dust-covered bodies, new wounds piled on old ones. But no one stopped, because ahead was green grass and life. The smell of damp water wafted in the wind. The noise stopped, and the herd stood still at a boundary of the Mara River. The opaque water rolled, reflecting the harsh sunlight like a flat mirror. On the other side was new land. But between the two banks was death. Beneath the seemingly gentle water, the Nile crocodiles had been waiting for months. They lay still, motionless, ancient monsters more than 5 meters long, their narrow eyes squinting in the murky water. Every breath was a cold calculation. They knew this moment would bring the only fullness of the year. The first antelopes approached the water's edge. Their thirst made them impatient. The herd crowded together. One bold. Then thousands. In the chaos, the giant jaws lunged. The crocodile turned underwater, dragging its prey deep, bones cracking under a bite 10 times stronger than a lion's. The prey disappeared. But the herd continued to cross. Fear washed over them, driven by survival instinct. On the other side was grass, life. On this side was death, but stopping was also death. As dusk fell, the river water changed color. The Mara River, where the death of one species feeds countless others. The lucky ones reached the other bank, exhausted. They rested after a long journey. And this journey will repeat itself, year after year, for thousands of generations. When the first rains return to the Serengeti, the antelopes will return, beginning an eternal cycle of life and death. Ahead, black and white streaks have begun to appear on the horizon. In the afternoon light, they appear as moving waves on the grass. Zebras, nomads, the beauty of order and chaos. They are not as numerous as the wildebeest, but they are the pioneers in every migration. It is the zebra that sets out first, leading the way, clearing the way through the dry lands, and somehow always finding fresh grass and water. Behind, the wildebeest follows, turning the entire savanna into two parallel streams. Zebras can travel hundreds of kilometers without getting lost. They remember every river, every land they have ever passed through. That memory is passed down through each generation. It is a living map of the African grasslands. The calves follow their mothers, learning to feel everything. It is the legacy of life, written by instinct. The zebra's slender body, the contrasting black and white fur, creates a perfect optical illusion. In the harsh sunlight, those stripes blur the boundaries of the body, making it difficult for predators to identify the target. No two are alike. Each zebra is a unique, living fingerprint carved by nature. The herds migrate in tight formations. In the middle are the calves, surrounded by adult females, and the strongest males walk on the outside, ready to counterattack if attacked. They can run up to 65 kilometers per hour, less than wildebeest, but their reactions are faster, more sensitive, and more disciplined. In the middle of the savanna, when the dry winds blow, the zebra's neigh echoes across the steppe, both a herd call and a warning signal. The whole Serengeti seems to breathe with them. The dust is kicked up, the wind blows, and somewhere, golden eyes are opening in the thick grass. The predator has realized the season of plenty has come again. A young zebra is busy grazing with its head down, a few meters away from the herd. It does not realize that death is near. Perhaps it is too late. As if on cue, the lion charged. The horse resisted in vain, lasting only a few seconds before everything stopped. The dust cleared, and the sun shone down on this familiar scene of nature, where one's life is paid for by another's death. In the distance, the chaotic herd of zebras continued moving, not turning back. For here, fear could not stop the journey. When the sun set, the savanna was once again calm, as if no hunt had ever occurred. When the African savanna sank into the twilight, the sun elsewhere began to rise. On the other side of the world, amidst the cold mist that covered the water, another migration was taking place. Less noisy, but no less fierce. In the coastal areas of Alaska and British Columbia, glaciers melted into the vast ocean. Salt and fresh water met, creating the starting point for a magical journey. The journey upstream of salmon. In the cold world of the North Pacific, salmon are one of the most extraordinary creatures. They are born in streams where the water is clear and cold. The young leave their nests, drifting down the river to the open sea. There, they spend 3 to 4 years wandering in the ocean, traveling thousands of kilometers to hunt, mature, and grow. When the time comes, an invisible signal is activated in the body, the instinct to return home. Millions of them turn back to their birthplace, against the cold, rushing rivers, swimming against waterfalls, rapids, rocks, and even the waiting predators. Their bodies begin to change. From the silver color of the sea, the salmon turn fiery red, with dark blue heads, dark fins, and the lower jaw of the males curved up to form hooks, weapons in battles for females. That color is not only a signal of reproduction, but also a declaration of life, the last flame before going out. Because at the end of the journey, in the quiet sand and gravel, they will dig a nest, lay eggs, and die. Their bodies will dissolve in the water, nurturing new life. The perfect sacrifice that nature has programmed. In the cold streams of Alaska, brown bears appear when salmon season begins. The giant body is covered with thick silver-brown fur. More than 2 meters tall when standing upright, weighs more than 400 kilograms, but moves with frightening ease. The big feet, curved claws like steel hooks. Each swing can tear the skin of salmon or break the neck of a deer. Their sense of smell is superlative. They can smell salmon dozens of kilometers away. They wait for months, patiently by the cold water, because this period determines the life of the whole year. When the salmon school goes upstream, the brown bear immediately turns from a loner to a ruler. Despite its ferocious appearance, the brown bear has a strong instinct for raising its cubs. The mothers lead their cubs to the river, teach them to hunt, teach them how to choose the best position to catch fish. They occupy strategic positions on the rocky rapids, where the fish have to jump over the waterfall. The hunt explodes. The catch is accurate. The prey cannot escape death. It eats most of the nutritious eggs and fish heads, leaving the rest. Everything returns to the soil, the trees. The eternal cycle of nutrition. In the midst of the scene of hunger and fullness, we clearly see the philosophy of nature. Only those who know how to learn, know how to wait, and know how to adapt can survive. The symphony of life and death, brilliant, cruel but also strangely complete. On the other side of the planet, where the dry, cracked land and the wind carries the smell of sand and dust, another migration is beginning. From the sky, the ground appears a burnt yellow land stretching to the horizon. Bushes, a few herds of antelopes hidden in the sunlight. And in the distance, giant gray shadows are moving slowly in the heat and thirst. Those are the giants of the savannah, the herd of African elephants. Their bodies can weigh up to 6 tons, more than 3 meters tall, their ears as wide as sails spread out to dissipate heat under the scorching sun. Each heartbeat is as powerful as a drumbeat, calling for rain, pumping life through a giant body that has endured millions of years of evolution. The trunk, the most amazing organ in the animal world, is a perfect combination of strength and delicacy. It has more than 40,000 muscles, can break a tree trunk, but is also soft enough to pick up a small leaf. The trunk helps elephants drink water and even gently touch their calves as a wordless comfort. The curved ivory-colored tusks are not only weapons but also vital tools. They dig for water, strip tree bark, and destroy thorns to make a path. But it is those tusks that also make elephants the most hunted target on Earth. Leading the way is the oldest female, her tusks long, each step a mark of memory. She has walked this path dozens of times, through fierce dry seasons, through times when her calves fell, and times when the rains of salvation poured down. They survive not only by strength, but by memory, the memories passed down from generation to generation. From the African savanna to the icy Alaskan river, from the wildebeest herd to the salmon upstream and the elephants pacing in the desert, every living thing is doing the same thing, moving to survive. Because in this world, there is no safe stopping. Every step, every life, every sacrifice, all contribute to keeping this earth breathing. When the last light recedes from the earth, it carries with it the distant sound of millions of footsteps, of cycles that never stop. The migration ends only to prepare for another migration. And nature, like an endless song, still resonates amidst the changes of the planet. Which moment in this journey do you feel most deeply? Share your feelings in the comments section. Remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on the journey to discover the most spectacular survival battles on the planet.
The wild boar flees. On land is danger, underwater is death. When every path is a trap, is survival instinct enough to keep it alive? Savannah, the wild boar's desperate escape from its predator. Savannah, a seemingly peaceful land under the bright sunlight, but inside is an unforgiving ecosystem. Stretching as far as the eye can see with burnt yellow grasslands dotted with a few lonely acacia trees, this place is the stage of thousands of life and death encounters every day. In the savannah, life and death are only a breath apart. There is no time for hesitation. Every step, every sound can be the starting signal for a chase, an ambush, or an unforeseen end. This is where instinct rules every action, where only the faster, the more agile, and the more resilient are allowed to survive. In the heart of the dry African savanna, where the ground is cracked and the wind carries the heat of dust, a resilient animal has quietly survived through generations. The African warthog, also known as the wild boar, has a thorny appearance, a thick grey skin and curved fangs like scythes protruding from both sides of its cheeks. Its low-slung gait and erect tail like an antenna are signs that help the herd follow each other when moving. They use abandoned burrows of wildebeest, porcupines or mongooses, a clever way to save energy in the dry land. Under the scorching sun of the savannah noon, the cracked ground radiates a sweltering heat, dyeing the whole space yellow. In the middle of the dry, grassy clearing, a herd of wild boars lies flat on the ground to rest. That seemingly peaceful scene has caught the eye of a patient predator. A lioness is lurking behind the grass less than 30 meters away. The air became heavy. The mongooses nearby also scattered to find a place to hide. The lion, standing motionless in the middle of the sunburnt grassland, its sharp eyes watched its prey from afar. As the ruler of the savannah, it possessed a muscular body, rippling muscles hidden under its golden fur reflecting the sunlight. It waited for an opportunity to come. The moment the savannah seemed to be calm, the mother wild boar ran out of the grass. Although its eyesight was not good, it still possessed an incredibly sharp sense of smell and hearing, enough to feel the heavy breath of death lurking nearby. It saw the lion, and without waiting another second, the pig turned around and ran away. The piglets panicked and hid in the nearest cave. The chase began. The lion suddenly rushed forward, chasing the mother pig. The mother pig ran in circles, her tail standing straight like a flagpole. It was a distraction tactic. The lion followed closely, its claws touching the opponent's heels. But when it seemed close enough, the wild boar changed direction, turned sharply, and disappeared. The lion missed its bite. In that moment, the seemingly weak one had disoriented the king of the grasslands. And on the savannah, where every return is a matter of life and death, one failure is enough to make the hunter wary of the next. During the move, the mother pig always leads, the cubs follow, and the tail is held straight like a flagpole, a signal to keep the formation in the tall grass. Together they forage, rest and sleep in abandoned burrows, frequently changing places to avoid predators. In the wild, wild boars are a symbol of resilience and have a strong herd instinct. After mating, the female pig is pregnant for about 5 to 6 months, then goes to abandoned caves to give birth. Each litter of wild boars can give birth to 2 to 4 young. However, survival conditions depend on environmental conditions. A group usually consists of one adult female and her young, forming a close-knit family unit. They will forage together and sleep in the cave. They often change places to avoid predators. However, in the dangerous wild world, just one wrong step can change fate. A young pig falls behind, separated from the herd. Without the protection of its mother, without the upright tail to guide the way through the grass. From afar, a lion is watching. This time, it does not give the young wild boar another chance. Without hesitation, a decisive charge. The short life of the young wild boar ended. It collapsed before the lion's precise bite. Under the canopy, the chase ended. As the lions gathered around the worthy reward after many hours of tracking and coordinating the hunt, they were eager. The whole herd moved around the food source. Not fighting, but arranging according to natural order. After filling their stomachs, they lay down on the grass under the soft afternoon sun. The lion cubs played, climbed on each other, and circled around the mother lion. In a moment that seemed only for the relentless hunt, the warmth appeared where life came from strong instincts and was nurtured by the bond of generations of the dominant species. Before that scene, the wild boar herd was still moving forward. The wild boar herd continued to move in silence, following each other in a line. Leading the way was the mother wild boar. They slowly moved towards the riverbank. After a tiring and stressful journey, water became the only thing the herd needed at this moment. The water's surface was like a mirror reflecting the sky. But the savannah never gave peace for free. Without a sound, a dark shadow crawled close to the water's surface, slowly, almost motionless. The caiman. The veteran predator of the tropical swamp. It was the embodiment of patience and camouflage. With its rough skin like rotten tree bark, it blended perfectly into the natural setting, making it almost impossible for strangers to detect its presence. Only its eyes protruded above the water, silently watching the herd of wild boars approaching the river's edge. After a long journey across the scorching savannah, the herd of wild boars finally found a source of water. They approached with a wary attitude, but their burning thirst overshadowed them. And suddenly, the caiman sprang up. A bite hit the wild boar standing closest to the shore. The water splashed. With the deadly twist, all resistance became meaningless. In an instant, both disappeared under the murky water, leaving only slight ripples on the river surface as if nothing had happened. The water surface became calm, a lightning-fast hunt. It was a clear demonstration of the cruel law. In this land, even a second of carelessness could be the last thing. The water surface returned to calm, only ripples gradually spreading in the scorching sunlight. The hunt was over, but the air had not yet completely calmed down. In the distance, the herd of antelope continued to graze, their eyes still occasionally glancing towards the river, as if to make sure that the distance was safe enough. The silence at this moment was not peace, but the silence between two beats of the chain of survival. Any moment could become the signal for another chase. Amidst the dry grasses burning yellow in the late afternoon sun, the savannah falls into a strange silence. Life seems to slow down, but in that silence, danger still creeps in step by step. In the middle of that grass, a wild boar is absorbed in separating from the herd, lost and unwary. It moves cautiously, but enough to feel the eyes following its every move. It is the jaguar. A predator with speed and precision. Its distinctive spotted fur helps it blend into the light and shade of the savannah, creating an absolute advantage when ambushing. Unlike the crocodile, which waits in silence, the jaguar is an active hunter, always taking advantage of speed and power. The wild boar lowers its head to sniff, not realizing that the distance between it and the danger is shortening. The jaguar lowers its body. It knows that timing is everything. With a powerful leap, it rushed out of its hiding place at a terrifying speed. A moment of panic, but it was too late. The bite was accurate. The wild boar could only struggle in vain. It all happened within a few seconds, as nature often ends the stories of the weak in this dangerous world. A moment of panic, but it was too late. The bite was accurate. The wild boar could only struggle in vain. As the sun gradually disappeared behind the distant trees at the end of the horizon, the savannah sank into a brilliant but equally harsh sunset. On that seemingly motionless land, every inch of grass, every ripple of water, had witnessed the constant battle of wits and strength between the hunter and the prey. But no matter how resilient, just one moment of losing rhythm, the price to pay is life. That is the immutable law of nature. Where life and death are decided by the ability to adapt and the courage to survive. If you love true stories between species, follow the channel to be able to join us to discover more magical moments of survival in the wild.